Okay, so this is the TI Goat stove. It's a small stove. Normally the stove comes all taken apart. It's about 1 inch by whatever the width and whatever the length is. And it's have its own cover and everything, but for this one, when it's really cold, your hands are frozen and it's hard to put these things together, so I decided to keep it together and just build a cover for it and put some power webbing on it and mount it on top of the pack. So what I do when I put this thing together is I'll back off these screws just a little bit. This is the pipe that goes around, or that goes through the stove jack. I actually have the legs in here. And what I did with these legs, they're got a little drill hole through them. So what I did, I cut a little slot in them. So all I have to do at this point is just take it and slide them onto the bolts. And let's see, we need to get the right one. Slide them through the bolts and just retighten it back up. And that way, if your hands are cold, if you've got gloves on, it's a lot easier to work with. The stove is made of titanium. The pipe is made of titanium. And the legs are made of titanium. So again, I'll back this off about a half turn. And the way this stove works, it's got a 3-inch opening up here. It's got a 3-inch opening in front. It's got input, air input down here. And what we have a little damper. Fits right here. Actually goes on this side. Fits right there. Little damper. Controls the heat. We have 6 little rings to put the pipe together with. We have a spark arrestor, and then we have a little piece that fits on to the top of the pipe to let it keep its form. They can make them in 4.5, 6.5, and so on. This one's 7 foot. I had originally bought this thing for a teepee that I made, and anyway, I got into hammock camping, and so I built this little shelter to accommodate the stove. This is the pipe. It's titanium. It's 12 inches long. It's usually about 2 inches round, and it just rolls out. It's just real thin stuff. The first time that you to burn this, you need about a 2-inch PVC pipe or something. It may take two people to roll it for the first time, and then when you roll it, you put your D-rings on, or not the D-rings, but these little rings on, space them out. And then the first time or two that you burn it, then from there on, it'll just pop right in place. And so that's what it'll do here. I've burned it a lot of times. So you just kind of roll it out. Grab it, Ted. Normally I don't. Okay, there we go. So normally it'll pop right into place. You put your D-rings on. Just kind of close this up a little bit. I normally go ahead and put all the D-rings on at one time. just kind of space them apart. And the way this works, usually kind of have this out a little bit so I can put this top ring in first or last, it doesn't matter which. Once I put it in, I'll take the ring, bring it back up. Move this ring down a little bit. Then I'll take the spark arrestor, I'll slide it in first. You can probably put it in at the top also, I just always have put it in at the bottom. Slide it in a little bit, and then take your damper. Mine went blank. Thank you, Ted. And slide your ring back over it. And then this will fit in a stove like this. And it'll slide through the hole and you're good to go. So let's do that. I'm going to put the stove I think what I'll do, I'll put that damper on while I'm inside here. This pipe is so long. Slides through the hole. Come on in here, Ted. And what we're going to do, slides in like that. Slides in the stove. And then you've got it all set up. This is about the way it looks. You've got plenty of space between your wall and your stove. Plenty of space between the hammock. The way I've got this set up also is your clothesline is right here, so you can hang your socks and whatever you got wet on here, down through here. Also, got a hammock right here. So while I'm laying down, the stove is only going to last about an hour most of the time. I have been able to make it last about 2 hours with some good wood, about 1.5 inches that I cut. But most of the time, if you find the stuff on the ground and you stick in there, it's going to last about an hour is all. But if you got your little pan up here to boil some water with, it's pretty cold. You got some little twigs and stuff here. You got a little cotton ball that's got Vaseline impregnated in it. Your lighter, whatever you have. You're laying all set up right here in the hammock. And you're all covered up. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you don't even have to get out of the hammock. You stick your hand out here, grab some twigs, throw it in, light it, get it going. Cuddle back up in your hammock, let this thing warm up. Say it's 0 degrees out here. Then once it fires up and gets all nice and hot, then you can curl out of your hammock. And get a nice little seat right here. And cook, plenty of room. and have a great time. So this is what the stove looks like in a hammock, and this is the way I set it up. There is some things that, some extra things that I do that that I was wanting to show y'all that I built a little extra for it. My wife didn't like to go camping with me when it's hot. So this is basically when we go island camping out on one of the lakes. And I'll bring a little generator with us, and I've set it up so when it's 100 degrees or something, she can have a place to stay cool when it's hot. So the way I do this is I'll open this up a little bit, and let's keep that shining over there.
What size is that again, Mike?
That's a 5,000 watt AC, just a little window unit. And what I do is I have a little, you can put a towel or whatever you have, so these corners right here doesn't cut part of your tarp. I usually put that over like this. And then I close the door off, and this is, let's see. Get this set up correctly. This is going to work. It's basically all it's going to do is cover this little hole.
There he is.
And that'll give you AC when it's 100 degrees outside. So let me show you what it kind of looks like inside. AC out here, there's a stovepipe. That's what it looks like inside, the last little bit. That's what the stove looks like. AC. And a nice hammock shelter with heat and air. Can't go wrong. So anyway, this is kind of the way I set it up, and for all the people out there that's bought one of these from me, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.